Okay, this is Finn's week 2 video recap. So I've already gone through charging his clicker and having him follow a food lure. So we're going to get right into our leash skills. So last week we were working on teaching him heel position, teaching him to sit in heel position, and some forward movement. In week 2 we started to work on making turns with him. So there's 2 different turns that we are going to work on today. The first is our U-turn, which is us making a 180-degree turn with him staying on the outside of us. And then the second is a front cross turn. This is where we turn into the dog and keep them on the inside of us. So I'm going to start out by just reviewing, getting him into heel position a couple of times before we start working on some turns. Finn, heel, sit. So rewarding him for duration there. Okay, making sure I use his release cue to let him out of position. We'll do that again. I am using a food lure to start. Finn, heel, sit, good man. Okay, and now the third time I'm not going to use a food lure, just some movement with my hand. Finn, heel, sit. So still going to mark and reward after he does the behavior. Okay, good job, bud. So now we're going to start to work on our U-turns. So I'm going to see if I can get him into heel without using that food lure. I will still mark and reward him after he finds position. But then when I cue him, let's go, I am going to bring a piece of food out of my treat pouch, and I want it down and him on that food lure as I'm starting to make that turn. I will mark and reward him after we complete the turn. Finn, heel, sit. Okay, so rewarding him there for finding position. Let's go, getting a piece in my hand. And now when we both complete the turn is when I'll mark and reward. We're going to keep moving. If he gets out in front of me, I'm just going to get him back into heel position. Good job, buddy. So again, once we complete the turn is when I click and give him that piece of food. Ideally, I would like for him to stay in position. I think he's getting out of position because I'm stopping to talk instead of continuing to move. So let me try a few where we just continue to move right along. So we're going to start over again. Finn, heel, sit, good boy. Let's go. Good boy. And we'll do this a couple times. And then when I'm going to finish, I will ask him for a sit before I release him out of position. Good job, buddy. Okay. So we'll run through that one more time. Finn, heel, sit. Now keep in mind in here, I'm only taking a few steps before we're able to make a turn. When you're practicing this on your own, you can go a little bit longer distance, so you're taking a couple more steps before you make a turn. Let's go. Sit. Good man. Okay. So I also want to go over how you're holding your leash and your treats and all that. So I'm practicing this with Finn on my left. So I'm holding my leash and some of the slack in my right, as well as my clicker. That way my food hand is on the same side as Finn, so I can just quickly reach into my treat pouch and come down and reward him, trying to remember that I want to reward at the seam of my pants to keep him in a good heel position. So now we're going to go over our front cross turn. So we're going to set this up the same way where I get him into heel, we start moving forward, but this time I'm going to move to my left and keep him on the inside of me. So this is the more difficult of the turns because if Finn is ahead of me and I go to turn into him, I'm going to bump into him. So I am definitely going to use food to make sure that I can keep him back far enough so that when I start to make that turn, I'm not going to bump into him. Finn, heel, sit, good man. Let's go. So this time I'm turning to my left and he has to pivot. Clicking and rewarding after we complete the turn. Sit. What a good boy. Okay, we'll go through that one more time. Yep, that's my camera, bud. You silly. Finn, heel, sit. What a good man. Let's go. So having that food out, pushing him back just a little bit before I start that turn to make sure that he's in good position here. Sit. What a good boy. Okay, good job, buddy. I started to introduce Finn to door manners this week. So for me, an open door is not an invitation for my dog to run through it. And you can see that as we're standing at the front door here, he is right at that threshold ready to go through it. So I do like to teach my dog to sit and wait a little bit back away from the door while I work on being able to open it while they maintain that sit. So that is like a lot of behaviors that we're going to be asking of him. So we are going to break it down and start by just getting him to stay in a sit position while I reach for that door handle. So I'm going to use a piece of food to get him into a sit. Finn, sit. But I'm not going to give it to him right away. Now I'm going to cue him wait, and I'm just going to reach for the door handle. As long as he remains in that sit position while I touch the door handle, I will click, mark that with my clicker, and give him a piece of food. If he gets up, I'm going to re-cue him. Finn, sit. You silly. Sit. There we go. Wait. Good boy. Go get it. I will reset him in between because I want to go through the whole thing, getting him into that sit position. Then sit. Wait. And you can see I'm just barely opening the door. So the idea is that I want him to stay in the sit position while eventually I open the door all the way, but we need to start small. So I'm starting out by just touching that door handle, rewarding him for remaining in that sit position, and then we are going to work up to me opening the door a little bit more. If he does get out of position while I'm in the middle of a repetition, that's fine. I'm just going to start over. Finn, sit. Wait. So I'm just cracking the door open right now, maybe like 2 inches. Go get it. Excuse me. And we'll do one more here. Finn, sit. Wait. Good boy. Go get it. Okay, we've been continuing to proof Finn's place. Finn, place. So he's been excellent at offering me that down position right away. So what we've been working on is adding distance, distractions, and duration. So I'll move around quite a bit. I'll walk around the kitchen island or the table. And then as long as he remains in position, so I know he got up there but he corrected himself, I'll still reward him. He turned around so he could see me, I'm fine with that. But I'll do a couple different things. I'll walk around. I'll sit down and pretend I'm looking at some mail. And I have also been working on accidentally dropping something off of the counter. So not only is that him staying on place, but that is also a leave it at the same time. And then after we do a few repetitions, I will release him. Okay. And then we run through it again. Finn, place. Good boy. And I will practice using anything in the space that might be a distraction to him. So opening and closing drawers. Dropping a hat. have been practicing going out of sight just for a second, so I'm just going to peek behind the little hallway here to your garage. Good man. Okay. Finn, place. Try opening a door, see how that goes. We have not tried this yet. Good man. Okay, good job, bud. Okay, so we're just adding a little bit of distance to our flying cookie game here. Go get it. Finn. Good boy. Go get it. Go ahead. Did you see it? Finn. Good boy. So as long as Finn is responding to his name really well, I am going to start to pair his name with his recall word. So we'll do a few more with just using his name here. Go get it. Finn. Good boy. So when I move on to using his recall word, I will say his name first. As long as he turns in response to his name, then I'll use his recall word. And then when he is heading in my direction, that's when I'll click and reward nice and close to my feet. Go get it. Finn. Good boy. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're going to try with this recall word. Go get it. Finn. Come. Good boy. Go get it. Finn, come. Good job, bud. Okay, we've been continuing to work on Leave It. So this week we were practicing with food on a surface as well as on the floor. So when I'm working with it on a surface, I'll show the piece of food to Finn, put it on the couch, and then cover it with my hand. When he disengages is when I will mark and reward him. Leave it. Good boy. We toss a reset in between. Go get it. Leave it. So he's been doing really good with this one, so we're adding a little bit of duration. Leave it. Good man. And then similar concept with the floor. If I need to cover it, I'll cover it with my foot. Leave it. Good man. And then just making sure after I reward him, I either cover this up right away or take it away so that he doesn't then go and grab the food I just asked him to leave. Leave it. Good man. And then finally, we did start to work on me dropping something. So I'm not dropping it from way up here to start. I'm going to start maybe a foot or so off the ground. Leave it. Good man. We'll do one more here. Leave it. What a good boy, Finn. Good man. This week I started to introduce Finn to nail clippers, so I'm not actually clipping his nails this week, but more so getting him used to seeing and feeling the nail clippers. Hopefully by next week we will be able to move on to clipping a couple of nails. So I'm going to use food for this, just like I do for our body handling. I'm going to get him interested in that piece of food first before I bring out the clippers. While he's licking that food, I'm just going to start by bringing these down his spine. Yes. What a good man. Yes. Good boy. Yes. Good job, buddy. And then I'm going to move on to touching the clippers to his paws. So still getting him on a piece of food, and I'm just going to touch them to each paw. Yes. Yes. I can't see. Can't see, buddy. Yes. Yes. Good boy. Gonna toss a reset in between. Go get it. And then if he wants to sniff the clippers and investigate them, he absolutely can. Yeah, good job, bud. As long as he doesn't start to try to chew them and, play with them like a toy. Okay. So once I've touched them to his paws, then I am going to try to start bringing them down a leg. So I'll start up at the top of a leg, slide my hand down and lift up a paw. So getting him on that food first, touching the clipper to the top of his leg, bringing my hand down and picking up a paw. Yes, good boy. Yes. Yes, good job, buddy. Yes. Good man. Go get it. You can also work on conditioning Finn to the nail trimmers sitting on the floor. So just be aware that if you do that, he does try to lick your face quite a bit. So just make sure you're using food to keep all four paws on the floor. So I do find sometimes with larger dogs, and he's obviously going to be getting bigger, that getting them to lay down could be easier sometimes. So if we're going to go that route, I'm just going to get him into a down position, and then we'll do the same thing with the nail clippers. Yes, where I'm just touching them to each paw here. Yes. Oops. Yes. Good man. Yes. And then another thing that we started to work on this week is isolating one toe at a time in preparation for a nail trim. So I do like to use multiple pieces of food for this. So I'll get a couple pieces broken up in my hand, and I'll get Finn licking them while I isolate one toenail. And then once I have that isolated, I will sprinkle that food on the floor and bring the nail clippers over. Yes. So again, not actually trimming his nails, but doing everything up until that point. I'll show that to you again here. We'll try his other paw. So a couple pieces of food, getting him interested in the food first, isolating a toenail, scattering the food on the floor, bringing the nail trimmers over. Yes, good boy. Good job, buddy. Good man. Yeah, good boy. Can we try one with your back paw? Can we turn so they can see? Go get it. We'll try one of his back paws real quick. Down. I think we're able to see that one. Okay. So isolating a toe, dropping that food on the floor, bringing the nail clippers over. Yes, good boy. Good job, buddy. That's it. Yeah, we're all done. That's it for Finn's week 2 video recap. Make sure that you are looking through the handouts that I give you or the instructions that I write out. And we also have some additional training videos in there as well. Those will give you much more detailed information and explanations on everything that we worked on with Finn in week 2. Good job, buddy.